Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of In the Garden with Mr. Elrod. So, I hope all of you are doing well and enjoying your summer. I would assume that most schools are out. Obviously, with the pandemic going on, maybe movement is a little bit curtailed, but I hope that you've been able to enjoy yourselves somewhat, whether that is getting out and enjoying some outdoor activities or, spending time at home with your family. I hope that you've been able to find some enjoyment in those things. So, the garden has been coming along nicely. We've got lots of development and lots of growth. So I thought maybe you'd like to take a tour. So, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so as you can see, we are here at the patio. We're pointing out directly at the blueberry bushes. The blueberry bushes have, well, really everything's coming along very nicely, so I don't want to be too repetitively redundant. See what I did there? And there's our new, what do we call that, the pink lemonade blueberry bush. No berries on it, it's still relatively young. But you can see that these are pretty well loaded down with berries. Still waiting on them to ripen. Still green. I will say that the spring has been very good for gardening. So if you got started this year, it was a great year to get started. We've had, at least in the south where I'm at, we've had lots of rain. The weather's been very cool, hadn't been too hot, and so it's allowed for a lot of growth. Because of all the rain, you haven't had to do too much watering. So that's been really nice. So there's the blueberry bushes. You see the pie tins there. Pretty sure I've spoken about those before. You can see already that the tomato plants are coming along quite nicely. To the ones that are closest to us, these are the beefsteak tomatoes. And towards the back, we have some grape tomatoes. So we have several flowers on each of the plants. And so pretty soon we'll start seeing some fruit come on those. You can't see it right now, I don't think, but we had talked about how the cold weather had actually zapped some of my tomato plants, and so I replanted those, started out some seeds again, and there they are. We're getting a little bit of growth, so fairly soon they'll be just as large as these guys here. So you can see I went ahead and put it in tomato cages. Got some nice spacing on them. It looks like everything's going to turn out pretty nice. This might be the most organized tomato bed that I've ever been able to produce. Come over here to the cucumber bed. So same thing. We've got several flowers on the cucumbers. I think I counted 5 cucumber plants in this space. So if you remember it all from last year, the whole tomato cage is covered up. And probably what I will do once it gets tall enough, I'll put another cage on top of it. So that way I can extend the height, and so the cucumbers can continue to climb, just kind of a makeshift trellis there for it. You can see the tomato plant that is coming along, and it's also got flowers on it. So I think I mentioned that I'm just going to leave that there just because I make things a little bit easier for me, so I'm not transplanting things. Oh, it's a good looking plant, so I'm not going to mess with that at all. So hopefully that'll do fine. Walk on over here to the berry section of the garden. You can see the blackberry plant is doing well enough, I guess. It's not a very large plant, I don't know. Looks like maybe we got 10 berries on there or so. So obviously not, it's not terribly productive. But what the heck. Hopefully the plant itself will get bigger and bushier, and we'll get some more out of it. The strawberries have been doing really well. You can see how those have taken off. Very little work on that. I mean, I got the pallet for free. I don't know, maybe $6 to $7. I don't know, maybe tops of 10 worth of dirt. Maybe not even that much. I think maybe spent $9 on the strawberries. You see how well that's taken off. I might say I get somewhere between 4 and 5 strawberries every other day. My biggest issue here has been animals. And so we have some chipmunks running around. They'll actually get underneath the net and they'll take a couple of bites out of a strawberry, throw it down, and then leave it. How very wasteful. I think about the people who say that nature is great at I guess, what is the word I'm looking for here? Efficiency maybe would be a good word. But the chipmunks are terribly wasteful, so not very happy about that. But, you know, doing what I can to keep them off of it so that I can enjoy the strawberries, because clearly they don't. They take like a bite or two and then just chuck it, which is pretty annoying. Over here we have the Jerusalem artichokes and the sunflowers growing, so those are looking really nice. So the Jerusalem artichokes are supposed to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 feet tall and then flower, and then those are skyscraper sunflowers, so they're supposed to get in the neighborhood of 6 feet tall. So just kind of get a close up on these. This right here is our sunflower, and then this right here is our Jerusalem artichoke, and so you can see them kind of interspersed in there. So hopefully give us some nice flowers over in this area. Kind of, I don't know, just dress up the space a little bit. Over here, I'm not even really sure what this variety is, but somebody gave me those particular sunflowers right there that are kind of outlined in purplish black. And so, yeah, again, just somebody gave that to me, so I planted here. They're doing pretty well, coming along pretty nicely. And so that's what we got going on there. Over here to the spinach bed. You can see the spinach is doing pretty well. From what I understand, spinach isn't great in hotter weather. It does better in the early spring and then in the fall. But we get enough spinach every day. Kind of mix it in with the lettuce, which is great. You can see that we've got some peppers coming along. I had to replant the peppers as well because those got zapped because of the cold weather. But those will hopefully come along in the next couple of weeks. I can definitely see some growth down there, even if you can't see from this picture. In the bottom right, you'll see that those plants there. Got kind of a variety, multicolored bell pepper, and we got some jalapenos that are growing there. And then probably the most productive bed of the season so far has been the lettuce bed. I come out here and get, at least 3.5 to 3/4 gallon bags of lettuce every day, and the reason, and I could probably pick more, but I really don't have anything. There's nothing I can do with it. I give some of it away to friends. I give some of it away to neighbors and things like that. But that's coming along really nicely. You can see the arugula is flowering, and from what I'm told, if you want to you can keep the plant from flowering just by cutting the flowers off. But I figure, what the heck, we'll let it go. I'm not too terribly worried about it. Just let it go. Let it kind of take its natural course, maybe seed, and then we'll throw its seeds down on the bed, and then maybe we'll have some volunteers come up next year. Obviously, the pool is not necessarily the most classy thing to have your plants in, and so maybe try to move to a different bed just to make it look a little bit nicer. But this really served me well so far this year. So I guess pleasantly surprised might be the word that I am about that. So there is the lettuce bed. Alright folks, so that's all that we have for the garden tour today. As you can see, things are going really well. So like I said, it's been great weather, so hopefully if you decide to start a garden, you've seen some of the things that I have seen as far as your great plant growth. You're starting to get some fruit depending on what it is you plant. If you planted lettuce, then you should be able to harvest at this point in time. So we were talking about, just kind of the enjoyment of getting outside and working in the garden for a couple of minutes every day. I don't know, I spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes in the morning harvesting the lettuce, and then every other day I'll spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes watering the plants. Like I said, with the rain that we've had, it's been great. I really haven't had to water a whole lot. My rain barrel has been pretty much full, so I haven't had to really use any of my own water from the hose to water the garden. So that's been great as well, because I like to do this as efficiently as possible. Really no point in trying to spend more money on this than we have to, because that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I really enjoy this activity. Hopefully it's something that you enjoy as well, and then I hope that you guys have had a lot of success this spring if you've decided to garden. So I hope that you guys are having a great summer. I hope that you are taking some time to relax and rest. Thanks for watching. As always, hope to see you next time.